The Volkswagen Golf, probably one of the most influential cars in its segment, and it certainly sets the benchmark for other manufacturers to aim for with their standards. Now, VW were originally known for models such as the Beetle, and in 1974 the first Golf was born, and little did the manufacturer know it had become their most popular selling car. Now in its 7th generation, the VW Golf is looking, well, similar to the outgoing model, but nevertheless I believe it's a great car and I'm looking forward to giving it a whirl. Although this may seem as though we're getting off to a bad start, it is worth noting that at the recent Geneva Motor Show, the Golf was awarded the prestigious award of Car of the Year 2013. Now, to say that the Golf is a class leader, I think can be justified when you first sit in the cockpit, because the way in which this interior is designed, built and laid out is truly quite impressive. Now, it all centres around the centre console, which is very easy to navigate through. We've got all our essentials here. We've got our radio, media, phone, we've got our setup for our car, we've got all our sound alterations that we can create, and the central menu that will allow you to go through everything. And as I say, it's very, very easy to navigate your way through this. Now, below this, we've obviously got all our climate control, which again is very well laid out and simple to use. But most importantly of all, it does feel very well built, but it is a VW, so what more would you expect? And that kind of then brings us on to the amount of storage options that we've got throughout the cabin. Now, just below our climate control is where our iPod connectivity sits, and it's quite a big space back here too, so you shouldn't have any problem in getting your change and your phone in there at any one time. Now, the glove box is also very fair in size, it's very deep. I've also got 2 cup holders in the centre and some more space for change and a 12-volt adapter, which brings us on to the centre storage compartment, which again is quite deep. And this is only enhanced by 2 very fair sized side bins and a rather handy sunglass storage compartment. Now, there's also a few other features in this car that's worth highlighting. We've got this button here, which is the auto hold. Now, this is a feature that I'm more accustomed to seeing on vehicles like the BMW 7 Series. To me, this is quite a premium feature, and basically what it is when you pull up at the lights, the handbrake will come on automatically for you, and you don't have to do anything. You haven't got any worries in the world. Simply put your foot on the throttle and off you go again. So every time you come to a halt, it will keep you in that position. Very, very handy indeed. Now, here we've got our drive mode, which allows us to switch between 4 different modes. We've got normal, which is obviously for your normal occasions. We've got sport, pretty self-explanatory. We've got eco, which is for a more economical drive, and individual, so you can set it up to how you like it. And very, very useful this is, and you can certainly see the differences between these different driving modes when you're out on the road, but we'll have a more in-depth look at that later. So let's see how we get on for practicality in the back. Let's not forget that we're talking about Golf when we come to practicality. Of course, it's practical. Now, I've got the driver's seat right the way back because I'm quite tall and that's the way I drive. So this is the amount of leg and headroom that one of my passengers would have, and it's still a fair amount. It's certainly comfortable. Now, the comfort is only enhanced by features like these magazine holders in the back on both seats. Again, we've got quite large side bins. We've got vents in the rear and a very handy centre part that's got 2 cup holders, and this also doubles up to allow you to access the boot, which again is very, very handy. Now, the only thing that does let the rear down a little bit is this transmission tunnel that runs throughout the back of the cabin, which makes the centre seat a little bit difficult to get into and not that comfortable, but there's certainly enough space for 2 fully grown adults and 1 child in the middle. This has got to be possibly my most favourite feature on the car, and they do say that small things amuse small minds, and perhaps that is the case with this, but the VW badge just folds back and that is your boot release. I don't think I'd ever get bored of opening my boot. Now, this reveals 380 litres of boot space, which is a fair old size, and that's extended to nearly 1300 litres when you fold these rear seats down. Certainly fit for all those trips to the tip. On the road, handling is great. The Golf sticks to the road like glue. However, even though it is incredibly responsive, it isn't the most fun hatchback to drive. The great suspension makes for an incredibly smooth and comfortable ride. Its agile body control on the road is partially thanks to the fact it has shed 100 kilograms in weight compared to the last generation model. The entry-level engine includes a small 1.2 litre petrol, but where it really starts to shine is in the diesel range. The Golf is available with both a 1.6 litre and a 2 litre diesel, both of which deliver quite a fair bit of power and extremely impressive emission figures. The 2 litre diesel unit, for example, produces 147 brake horsepower and yet retains nearly 70 miles per gallon. So to round the Volkswagen Golf up, we'll firstly stop at appeal. Although the new Golf stays true to its roots and doesn't look that different to the previous models, it still manages to offer a fresh feel, both inside and out, and because of that we give it 4 out of the 5 available Motor Talk stars. For practicality, the Golf is a massively practical car with loads of space in the back and a spacious boot. Its transmission tunnel does get in the way slightly, but I suppose that could be classed as nitpicking, as it really is a great car, especially when it comes to the daily commute. We give the Golf's practicality 4 out of 5 stars. For performance, the Golf's diesel range offers a perfect balance between high miles per gallon and power, its 2 litre unit being particularly impressive. We give its performance 4.5 stars. When it comes to handling, the Golf really does have great grip on the road, but if you're looking for a hatchback with the fun factor, perhaps you should look for something else. The Golf is one of the best hatchbacks on the road, especially when it comes to handling, and for this reason, we give its ride and handling 4.5 out of the 5 available stars. In terms of ownership, you've always got to remember that it is a VW, which means its residual value will be great, and its high MPG diesel range also means that the VW Golf is cheap to run, and at just £14,425 it is extremely cheap to buy. We give the VW Golf an ownership rating of 4.5 stars. Overall, there is no doubt that Volkswagen have done it again with the Golf and released a great car that can fit pretty much any lifestyle and with class. Overall, we give the new VW Golf 4 out of the 5 stars. Not only will this car have great residuals, but it's a car that suits many different lifestyles. For this reason, we at Motor Talk simply love the new Golf.